So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to take the nose cone and attach this piece onto the nose cone. So that way we can tie the shock cord, tie it together with the nose cone. We're going to tape on the flight recovery strip. So then when we attach the shock cord into the fuselage, then we have our rocket built. So what I'm going to start with is I'm starting with our nose cone. I can get the school glue or some fancy glue, and I'm just going to glue my nose cone on. So I'm going to get this strip here, and I want to get the glue on that strip. And I'm not going to apply a lot. I'm just going to apply a little glue around on that little lip. As I'm applying glue to the little lip, I'm then going to put this in and give it a good rotate. When I'm rotating it, that's making sure the glue is getting to all pieces. So now I'm going to let it sit there and dry. I could have used the school glue. I could have used another glue source, but I think that's dry. And so I'm also then going to just wipe it off with a little paper towel around the sides. By wiping it off with a paper towel, I'm ensuring that no excess glue is on the sides of it. I'm just going to let it sit there and dry. So now that I have that on there, I'm going to let it sit and dry. Before I start messing around with it, I do want to tie on my shock cord, but I'm also going to tape onto my shock cord the flight recovery strip. Now I'm just taping this on. This doesn't need to be put on in any fancy way. This just needs to get taped on because this orange strip is only going to be used for us to see it. That's why this is called the flight recovery. Recall, our rockets go up about 20 or about 2.5 kilometers. That's about how high up our rockets are going to go. So as I'm taking this tape and wrapping it around, I have now this orange strip on here. So since our rockets go up about 2.5 kilometers, this orange strip is so that way we can see it as it comes back down, so we can recover our rocket and not have anything start on fire. So I'm going to tie my nose cone through there, but I'm still going to let this dry, and I'm going to glue in my shock cord into my fuselage. Now, how far do I need to go? Well, it says on my instructions right here about how far up I need to go. So about 1.5 inches. You don't want it too close to it. You don't want it too far away. You want to be about 1.5 inches. Now, what 1.5 inches is, if you want to go with respect to the nose cone itself is approximately 3 inches, so halfway up the nose cone. So about halfway up the nose cone. So you can use your pinky to go about halfway up the nose cone and say, I think that far. So I'm going to place a liberal amount of glue onto my shock cord. I placed in a liberal amount of glue. I have a good amount. I'm going to place this inside, and I want to glue it so that's about this high up. And that's what I'm going to do here is just place this in and then shove it down and just kind of get it there, and I'm going to hold it with my pinky or a pencil or a writing utensil, whatever it is. And then there's excess glue. You got to remove it from that region. So remove it from that area, any excess glue. If it dries on there, you got to sand it. So try to wipe up any excess glue before it dries. So keep it pinched in there on the side with your finger. And yes, there might be some glue that's coming around the side, and you got to get the glue. You got to remove the glue. keep your finger in there. Keep it pinched up against the side. I'm keeping it there to show you that it does take time. So keep it there. Yes, I do have glue on my fingers, and yes, the glue will be moving around. You want to make sure that it is glued before you pull it. You want to make sure it's dried before you test it. Then we're going to get our rocket, and we're going to tie off the top here. So I currently have glue on my hands. I'm going to wipe them off. I'm wiping off the glue from around my hands, cleaning up my workspace. That way my liquid glue does not dry on me. I'm then going to tie my shock cord to my nose cone, and I'm just going to do a double knot. If you don't know how to do a double knot, it's kind of like tying your shoe. That first part of tying your shoe, you just loop it under, you give a good tie, and then just loop it under again, and pull it through the loop. Now we have our rocket attached to our nose cone. I'm going to make sure I don't have any excess glue in here. As you can see, I do. If you have excess glue, you got to remove that because that's going to get in the way. So I'm just going to stick my finger down and in there and get the glue out while the glue is wet. So that way I don't have to get any sandpaper and try sanding inside of this little cardboard tube. So you want to make sure you get all the glue out as best you can so that way it's not a tight fit. You want to have it so that way the nose cone can pop off. So once we are here, now I'm going to show us about how to prepare this and how to put our flight recovery into our fuselage. So the way we're going to do that is following the instructions on this given paper right here, where I'm going to fold, and roll. So I'm going to do one fold, another fold, and then a third fold, and then I roll this up. We want to make it so that way this will pop open after the rocket launches its last stage. So then we insert this into the tube, into that fuselage, put the cap back on. I'm going to wait for everything to dry before I put everything all in together. And then we have our rocket built, and then we're ready to actually start decorating it if we want. The way we can decorate is with spray paint or some stickers or the decals that came with this rocket. Don't add anything don't add anything. Just that's the best answer. Don't add anything to your rocket. Talk to me if you think about adding something. Thank you very much, and good luck.